Welcome to the Ben Mulroney Show. It is Tuesday, September 16th. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for finding us wherever you choose to enjoy the Ben Mulroney Show. You might watch the video on YouTube, or you may find us in any other, so many different places, including social media. We are doing gangbusters on Instagram. At Ben Mulroney Show. That's where you can find us. And those are little snackable moments of the show. You can test drive us, see if, try us out for size. And if you like it, you can watch or listen to the longer form podcast, or listen to us live if you're in the Toronto area on the on radio, or syndicated across the country on the Chorus Radio Network. All right, yesterday was the first day of this sitting of the new parliament. And a lot of us who Jones for politics and the theater of the House of Commons have been waiting for yesterday, and I don't think it disappointed. I think there were a number of highlights, but before we get to those, some news that just broke as we are about to come on air was the fact that Robert Fife of the Globe is announcing that Chrystia Freeland is probably going to be leaving cabinet at imminently. And what's she going to do next? We don't know, but it is being suggested that she might have some sort of new job leading Canada in some way as it relates to Ukraine. Could be ambassador, could be special envoy. We don't know. And why this is happening, that's another question, right? We have no idea. Mike, it could be any number of things, right? You got to remember she was running against the prime minister for the leadership of the Liberal Party and lost. She's been in government since 2015. Lot of miles on her reputation, but some would say miles, others would say
yeah, and obviously this hasn't been confirmed yet. It says in the report from Bob Fife that it could be as early as this afternoon. But Bob Fife has sources. Yeah. He's very good, very accurate. So let's assume this is correct.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Is it possibly that because there was some friction between Carney and Freeland, that maybe he was at this point saying, okay, I'm going to move you out of your ministerial job, and this is the landing spot they discussed? Could it be that?
Yeah, it might be. Look, you've done everything possible in government short of being leader, and you're not going to be leader. And you've been transport minister, and now that's going to be, according to Bob Fife, Steve McKinnon's taking over transport, and Dominique Leblanc is assuming the responsibilities for internal trade. So now he's got about 1 million portfolios. But this could be announced as early as this afternoon.
Would she remain as an MP?
Well, it says, according to him, she's going to remain an MP, which they need. They're in a minority situation. They can't weaken that minority. So I part of me thinks it's like, look, you've done everything you can. Maybe she didn't like transport. And they said, well, there's nowhere else I can put you because you've done everything else. And so we want you to pivot with honor, which I think is a really nice thing to do, to recognize all the hard work she's done. And not for nothing, I think I should mention, she was exceptionally kind. Look, I had problems with the politician and the politics and the policies, but not the person. I always had a very, very productive and she's a kind woman. And I enjoyed the time I spent with her, and she was so nice about my father and towards my family. So I have a lot of respect and a lot of warmth towards her as a person. And I think that is I hope that's what's happening here, that he's honoring that and giving her something new, a new challenge, a new chapter that is not a demotion. I think Ukraine as a policy priority for Canadians is right up there. Mm-hmm. And she is Ukrainian, and it's in her blood, but she's Canadian. She's a Canadian citizen. And so she would be there as a Canadian citizen. But Ukraine means a lot to her. I don't think anybody would question that she would be a fierce defender of Canadian values as it relates to our allegiance to Ukraine. And so I think she would be perfect for that sort of role. And I think it would be very foolish to make light of it or to challenge it in any way that makes them seem like they are not on side with Canada's program towards Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that's it. Well, let's go back to yesterday, right? We've got a couple of minutes.
Big day.
Yeah, it was a big day. And it started one of the things, MP Rachel Thomas of the Conservative Party gave an impassioned call to remember not just Charlie Kirk, but what he stood for as it relates to defending even those we disagree with, their right to speak. And this is what she had to say.
May we fiercely defend the right of our opponents to speak freely, and may we join our hearts with Charlie's family, his wife Erica, and his 2 young children. Rest in peace.
Yeah, and what followed was a standing ovation. I don't know that the NDP stood up. I couldn't see them. But the Conservatives and the Liberals stood up to honor not necessarily Charlie Kirk. There are a lot of people taking great issue with the Liberals doing this. They were just as easily could be standing for what Rachel Thomas said, standing up for decorum, standing up for healthy debate, standing up for ideas. That is probably why a lot of them stood, because a lot of them do not like Charlie Kirk or the values he espoused.
It would be hard to stay seated based on what she said.
Yeah, exactly.
You would be, yeah, absolutely.
So Pierre Poilievre back in the House of Commons after winning his seat in Battle Creek, Alberta, and he took to it like a fish to water. Like this is his home. It's like Happy Gilmore. Go to your home. That's his home. He is. There are very few examples in recent memory of a parliamentarian so comfortable in the House of Commons as Pierre Poilievre. Let's listen to when he was introduced as leader.
The opposition.
My mother taught me never to be late, so please forgive me for my late arrival to this session. I had some meetings with extremely important people in East Central Alberta, Mr. Speaker, after which I was honored to be elected by the great people of Battle River Crowfoot. I served in this House. I thank the great Damien Kirk who made it possible, and I thank the Prime Minister for calling a prompt by-election. I wonder if one day he might regret that decision. But
Yeah, listen, it was well done. There was some collegiality. There's a definite change in tone of the Conservatives where they have promised that they are going to be collaborative to a certain extent. But their constitutional job is to oppose people who suggest that they're being too confrontational. That's their job. It is the job that is written in the Constitution, and if you don't get that, then you don't get what's going on here. You don't get what Ottawa's about.
And we don't have time to get to the clip, but Pierre Poilievre does go into his attack dog mode, and he does attack the government for their spending, for all these policies that Carney has brought in. And Carney responds with saying, we need these billions of dollars that we're spending to be able to grow this economy.
Well, we'll see what happens come budget time, and now we're being told maybe November. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.